I hate my boyfriend's hobby. I have been with my boyfriend, who I will call James, for about 5 months now. I can honestly say that I love him. However, one thing is driving a huge wedge between us. His love of, or should I say obsession with Magic, the Gathering. Due to the nature of his job, he's on the road Monday through Thursday. We only see one another 3 days a week. I freelance from home, so I mostly have an open schedule. One of those days is entirely dedicated to MTG. I mean, we're at the shop from 3 until closing. The first one's in and the last one's out always. Mostly, I'm okay with this. I know hobbies are incredibly important for socialization, and they overall improve your mental health and quality of life. Besides, I was made aware of this weekly tradition very early on in our relationship. Therefore, I never guilt trip him into not going. In fact, I go with him despite not playing or really understanding the game because he likes having me there. Last weekend, he wanted to do Magic Friday and Saturday night. I informed him I cannot handle 6 hours of MTG 2 nights in a row. I told him he could still go, but I would either find something else to do or stay home and chill. He insisted he would stay with me and hang out. Important, as his daughters were in town the week before, and we got 0 alone time together, if my plans fell through. To be clear, I did not pressure him into not going. I told him I would not make the decision for him. He still chose to stay. That night, he spent 4 or 5 hours playing Magic online while I sat there and tried to get him to actually interact with me, to no avail. It was always one more game. He finally quit around 2 a.m. He went to sleep before we could have sex, which is a separate, but equally important, issue. I have a high libido, and he has a low libido. We have sex about once a week, which has never been enough for me. I told him at the start that sexual compatibility was important to me, as I never want to feel bad for needing sex to feel close to my partner. I was led to believe he shared this view. Come to find out, we are not sexually compatible, and he is either unable or unwilling to compromise with me despite numerous talks on the subject. In 5 months, I could count the number of times he has initiated sex on one hand. I can count the number of times he has gone down on me with no hands. Given it has never happened, I have asked several times. The answer is always soon. I know I can't force him to be in the mood. I'm just sick of the lack of reciprocation and feeling like we would have no sex life if I didn't push for one. He says he feels bad about not satisfying my sexual needs and ignoring me last weekend to play Magic online. However, I don't feel any sincerity in his words, because we've been here before with my expressing that I would like him to scale back the amount of magic in our relationship. Reddit, I'm at a loss. I've read this sub for years, and I anticipate the sorts of responses I will get here. In fact, I know what I would say if I were on the other side of the computer screen, but I love this man. He is kind, compassionate, gentle, and loving. This is one of the easiest relationships I've ever been in terms of generally getting along. He is great with my mental health issues. I should mention that he is the first boyfriend I've had in 8 years. Almost all of my 20s were lost to me due to severe anxiety, depression, and addiction issues. I was a hermit until mid-2018. I would say our communication is pretty good. We discuss issues ad nauseum, and we do try to compromise, just don't see the kind of change I desire from these conversations. My main question is, how do I not grow to resent him for his inability to control his magic consumption? Is this relationship salvageable, or are we too different? Additional context, he was married for 9 years. The marriage ended in 2016. This is the first serious relationship he has been in since. So maybe this is just growing pains? TLDR, my boyfriend is a bit obsessed with Magic, the Gathering. When he's not playing it on one of the 3 days we have together each week, he's talking about it or organizing his collection. I cannot deal. Update. So it has been 9 months since I posted in here. I got some good advice, which I mostly ignored, but I thought it deserved an update anyway despite the fact that it got little attention. The basis of my previous post was that my boyfriend was addicted to Magic, the Gathering. He constantly wanted me to come to tournaments with him and watch him play even though I had no interest in the game, and it was boring to me. Our problems obviously ran deeper than that. He ignored me to feed his addiction to video games, including MTG, Arena, and he lied to me about our sexual compatibility very early on in our relationship. Well, I wish I could say I walked away shortly after that post. I knew deep down I should have, but I didn't. We stayed together almost 14 months, and not only did the situation not improve, it got much worse when he lost his job in early June. Still though, I loved him and I thought he loved me. So I stayed and tried to remain patient with him. After all, he lost his job, and that is an obvious stressor. Then he got into school an hour from our hometown shortly before our 1-year anniversary, and it was decided that we would move in together the following month once I found a job in the big city. I did that a few weeks ago, and I thought things were on track. Exactly 1 week before I was supposed to start and we were to officially move in together, he got emotionally distant, which he expressed was because of stresses associated with a full-time job and taking night classes, but he never communicated any problems with us. Last Wednesday, he snapped me on the way to work, after ghosting me pretty much the whole day, to let me know he was rethinking our relationship. We didn't get to have a conversation about it for almost an entire day. We talked, he said he needed more time to think and would let me know what he decided on Friday. Then he called and broke up with me in a 10-second phone call 5 minutes before work that same night. Like an idiot, I still clung to the idea that I could fix things if only I could show him living together would be fine. He allowed me to stay with him for 2 weeks while I looked for my own place in the city he moved to, and we decided to give it a try. I got up there and realized I hated the city, the job, and I could not emotionally handle being around a man who explicitly told me spending time with me felt like an obligation, and his video games, or chill time, were more important. It just hit me in an inexplicable wave. I left work and sobbed in the parking lot. Then I suddenly knew this man-child was never going to not be selfish or prioritize anyone over his wants and needs. I spent the last year being the cool girlfriend who didn't rock the boat. I put my needs to the side in order to sustain a relationship that was never going to work. One comment from my OP has remained in my head since I last read it. I know guys like this, and their fundamental character attribute is selfishness. He shows it by monopolizing your time, and he shows it in the bedroom, or while he's on his computer and you're in his bed alone. This kind of just okay enough relationship is going to rot you from the inside out. You'll slowly feel yourself dying inside as you try to suppress that persistent, panicked realization that this isn't right and you deserve happiness. But he can't give it to you. Get out now, before you sink the next 10 unhappy years of your life. It pretty much hit the nail on the head. I knew things weren't right, but I still tried and my efforts failed. It hurts like hell still because I do genuinely care for him, but it's for the best. I've moved from the grief and denial stages into anger. I'm angry with him for being so damn selfish and being so bad at communication, but I'm mostly mad at myself for getting into a relationship with someone like him in the first place. He says we should break up, work on ourselves separately, then try to find our way back to each other, and I thought I wanted that, but again, he is literally never going to change. I, on the other hand, am going to go have some good sex for a change with a guy who doesn't treat it as an obligation. I'm going to reconnect with my friends and use this learning experience to finally get my own physical and emotional problems under control. I'm not doing it for him, but for myself. I advise anyone who is dealing with it who has an addiction or incompatible libidos to leave if you try to talk it out and nothing changes. You can't save them. You can only save yourself. Don't be like me. Don't waste a year of your life on a selfish person who only cares about their next fix, be it drugs, alcohol, gambling, or a video game addiction. You'll find yourself miserable and alone in your own relationship, and you only have yourself to blame. Our boyfriend was addicted to MTG and video games. He preferred them over me. Our libidos were also mismatched. We broke up, and I'm better for it.